Welcome to the Inspiring You Show. If we haven't met, I'm Henry. My friends, I wanted to do a check in. How are you navigating the continued shifts in transforming energy? So let's just take a moment right now to do a mindful check in. Close your eyes if you wish. You can put your hands on your heart and take a nice deep breath in. And then check in to see how you're doing. And then take another deep breath. All right, my friends. So, lately, what I'm noticing most deeply, both in my own field and within the collective, is the widening gap between the old paradigm patterns and the expansive crystalline possibilities now beginning to anchor. With that said, also the distance between the old paradigm patterns and the newness of what is now possible can also feel daunting. The world is in the middle of a huge collective transition right now, and in one or more aspects of life, many of us may be feeling caught in between, no longer fully connected to our old identities, yet not fully anchored in what's emerging. This in between state can feel disorienting. This is the dimensional shifts in vibrational recalibration, which is one of March's energy forecast, theme number 5, trusting the flow, navigating dimensional shifts and vibrational recalibration. There's a full episode on this in my podcast, The Inspiring You Show. But let's just talk a little bit about it right here. So, you might be finding yourself questioning your purpose, feeling uncertain about your path forward, or sensing that something significant is shifting, even if you can't quite name it. This is especially true for those of us who are navigating major life transitions, whether it's an empty nest, retirement, loss of a loved one, or simply entering a new chapter. And the truth is, most of us were never taught how to navigate such profound change with clarity, trust, and confidence. Yet here we are, being called to embrace a higher consciousness and new ways of being. So, we are in a profound moment of dimensional shifting and vibrational recalibration. And while that sounds cosmic, and it is, it's also incredibly human. The disorientation many are feeling right now isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign that something real is happening, that we are no longer fully tethered to what we once identified with and not yet fully landed in what is newly unfolding. And the truth is, most of us, again, we're just never really taught how to navigate these experiences, this in between experience, this multi-dimensional aspect. So I have a lot of compassion, and I just wanted to come on here and say I'm holding space for all of us as we move through this in terms of compassion, and also just talk about it a little bit more, that this is in between space that can feel tender, confusing, overwhelming. You may find yourself questioning your direction, feeling a loss of purpose or clarity, experiencing emotional waves that seem to have no clear origin, sensing a profound change unfolding, even if you just can't name it. These can be indicators of being in a dimensional threshold, a liminal space where vibrational frequencies are recalibrating and timelines are reorganizing, or you're letting go of one timeline, shifting into another. It's like your system is being asked to release outdated coding while simultaneously upgrading to a higher heart consciousness and also greater energetic coherence. So again, for those, navigating any kind of transition or just moving through this transformation process, the energetic terrain can just feel especially unsteady. And the truth is, again, I cannot say this enough. Many of us were never taught how to move through experiences such as this. But here we are, called to rise into new frequencies of being. And that's what we have to more focus on, that we're being called to rise into new frequencies of being. Yes, it can feel uncomfortable. Yes, it can be confusing. Yet we have more consciousness and understanding on it now. We have more tools. So, really letting yourself understand what a dimensional shift and vibrational recalibration feels like will also support you. A dimensional shift is a movement between vibrational states where consciousness, identity, and energy patterns evolve into a more refined expressions. These shifts can feel subtle, like a change in inner resonance, or intense, like a full energetic detox. You might notice feeling suspended between past and future versions of yourself. Who the last couple weeks, I've definitely been in that experience where I'm like, wait a minute. The past, I'm in the present, but also then the future. I am like in this I've experienced many multiple moments of just time. I've been calling it time warping, where I'm in the past, present, future. And so you might also be experiencing feeling suspended between past and future versions of yourself. Also heightened intuitive awareness, psychic sensitivity, or telepathic abilities. Alternating between deep expansion and sudden exhaustion, a sense of floating between realities where time and space feel fluid. There's been a couple moments in the last couple weeks where I've also been like in that floating between realities, like kind of time confused. Like, where am I in time? Where I've felt like, wait a minute, we're on this day. I thought we already did that day. And so it's been really interesting. And this isn't a malfunction. It's a transformation because the systems are recalibrating. So dimensional shifts affect not just your consciousness, but also your emotional body, your mental body, your nervous system, your energetic field. And then as Earth's vibration continues to increase, supported by solar flares, geomagnetic storms, deep space, photonic light, et cetera, our bodies are learning how to metabolize more frequency, more light, and more light truth. And just like with any recalibration, there's an integration process. So the floating between worlds feeling is not a problem, it's a beneficial portal. The sensation of not fully belonging to the past, yet not fully anchored in the future is sacred. It's not failure, it's a sign you're transforming. You're standing in the doorway of potential. In that liminal space, the ego wants clarity, control, and answers, but the soul is asking for trust, presence, and surrender. Whew. And that's where in this month's energy forecast theme number 5 is so relevant and trusting the flow. It's about learning to breathe with the frequency of change rather than brace against it, rather than judge it. It's about bringing in compassion. It's about honoring the inner upgrades, even when the external hasn't quite caught up. And then also recognizing the nervous system might need more supports because of this vibrational shift, and then why grounding is essential. Energetic upgrades don't happen in the mind alone. It doesn't happen just in the mental body. They move through the entire system. When your field receives a higher vibrational imprint, your nervous system must recalibrate to hold it. And if you are already highly sensitive or energetically empathic, you might feel even more so overstimulated from intuitive overload or incoming downloads, anxious or scattered as if your system scrambles to find stability, fatigued or offline when your body demands integration time, disconnected as your timeline updates and your identity dissolves. This is why grounding and nervous system regulation aren't optional, they are foundational. So also with this, earlier today, I had a moment where I felt like, wow, I could feel my brain. And it felt like I was having a moment of like, in terms of like when you hear people talk about ADHD or because I kept starting something and then I would get spacey and I wasn't finishing. And then I was like, what is going on here? And I tuned into my brain and I was like, whoa, I did not feel like this yesterday. And it was really interesting. And so I was just called to do a mindful Reiki meditation. And then afterwards, I did a dowsing to support clearing and then calling in balance of the systems. And then I went for a walk out in nature for about an hour. And that I had a huge shift in doing all these things. So, this is why grounding and nervous system regulation aren't optional, they are foundational. So, try doing energy work if that calls to you, walking barefoot on the earth to reattune your electromagnetic field, or just going outside for a nature walk, mindful Reiki, dowsing energy sessions, somatic meditation, Kundalini yoga meditation to restore energetic coherence, deep breathing and rhythmic movement to support vagal tone. You can also do chanting meditations, also spending time just however can support you to harmonize your field with Earth's frequency. If that means a meditation or, like I said, being outside. Also, just any kind of energy hygiene rituals like cord cutting, aura clearing, chakra clearing, or even, if you're going to do, if you don't have time for a whole chakra clearing, even a solar plexus recalibration can help. Also, taking Epsom salt baths can really be supportive. If you live by the ocean, going to put your feet, if it's warm enough to go put your feet in the water, that can actually help. So, these are a few things to support grounding and nervous system regulation. So, with that, and just here is just a loving reminder during this time of deep reconfiguration. You are not lost. You're being rewired. You're not broken. You're becoming more whole. And yes, there is uncertainty. Yes, your nervous system may feel stretched, but you are not alone in this. You're part of a collective evolution, an unfolding that is cosmic, ancestral, and vibrational in nature. And this March, really learning to lean in and trust the shifts. Let the dimensional currency carry what is no longer yours to hold. And remember, the light knows where it's leading you, even when your mind does not. So let yourself trust. And with that, my friends, much, much love. Until soon, and stay inspired, my friends.